Good afternoon. My name is Amy Lomax. I'm the Program Manager at the Climate Ready Initiative at Griffith University. Today I'm taking this webinar to showcase our current micro-credential online course called Becoming Climate Ready, enabling local government to identify and manage climate risk better. Griffith University acknowledges the people who are the traditional custodians of the land, and we pay our respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Today I'm calling from the language of the Yugambeh people, which is in the Gold Coast region. Today we will cover a brief introduction about who we are and why we developed this short course, an overview of the course, the key topics within the course, the design and delivery elements of the course, the credentials that you'd expect to receive upon completion of the course, and how to participate. So as I said, my name is Amy Lomax, I'm Program Manager of the Climate Ready Initiative. We are a key pillar of Griffith's Climate Action Beacon, which is run through Brendan Mackey, who's the Director at Griffith University. Our objective in both Climate Action Beacon and Climate Ready Initiative is to develop the knowledge, leadership, capacity and responses to help advance climate action throughout society, to support with the transition to net zero and climate resilience. And our key focus areas are climate-related projects and engagement, building capability, influencing policy, avenues and pathways to accelerate decarbonisation. And we also have a board and an alliance of peak bodies as part of the Climate Ready Australia 2030 project and a shared agenda. So we do work across society. We're very multidisciplinary, informed by science and research. And the solutions that we come up with are scalable and transferable knowledge and skills that are very practical based to support organisations in their advancement of climate action. Being strategic, effective and socially just is very important to us, that inclusive and equity element, to ensure that, no one is left behind, that we are mindful of the different rates and pressures and priorities for different organisations and people and places, and how we can go about it in a coordinated and just manner. We like to, I'll start with this slide because we like to compare, I suppose, climate change to the human body. A lot of people think 1.5 degrees around the world is minor. When you have, climate fluctuations in a place between, summer and winter of, sometimes 40 degrees. So why is that 1.5 degrees so important? Well, for a human body, our safe operating average body temperature is around 37.5, and there we've got that range, 36.1 to 37.2, which is safe. When you get to 38 degrees, you start having a fever, and come 40 degrees, it's getting really serious, and it can affect all different parts of the body, including seizures. So we liken that to the world where an average daily global temperature surface of 0, which is above the pre-industrial levels, is a healthy planetary temperature. And when that is accelerated through anthropogenic influences to 1.1 degrees, is equivalent of a planetary fever. And already you're seeing effects throughout the world in various ways and forms, basically showing that this is what the Earth's going through at the moment. And above 1.5% is equivalent of life-threatening. And at this temperature, those climate risks and impacts are going to become a lot more severe. You will see societies and humans really struggling, the refugee crisis increasing, ecosystems being more and more threatened by the high temperatures that they're not accustomed to, or droughts. So what we have here is, this is a source from the IPCC 6 assessment report. And Brendan Mackey was actually the leading author of that for Australia. And what you see here are different types of risks: acute, chronic, compounding, and cascading. Compounding risk is when multiple events are happening around a similar time. And so it's not just that one event, there are multiple. And cascading is often when the outcomes of that hazard is actually worse than the hazard itself. So, for example, heat waves and extreme temperatures. Australia experiences frequent heat waves with temperatures often exceeding 40 degrees in many regions. These extreme heat events pose risk to human health, agriculture, infrastructure, and ecosystems, leading to heat-related illnesses, reduced agricultural productivity, and the strain on energy and water resources. And similarly, this is for droughts and bushfires and floods. For tropical cyclones, for example, North Australia is vulnerable to tropical cyclones, which can bring strong winds, heavy rainfall, storm surges, and coastal inundation. These in turn can cause extensive damage to buildings, infrastructure, and crops, and disrupt essential services, resulting in loss of life. And obviously, if you have the compounding effect of multiple events, whether it be cyclones or floods, happening in a year or a couple of years, the recovery time is much more hampered and costly, and it's harder. It really affects the resilience of the society and the people. Also on this map, you'll see different areas that are already feeling um, the the impact of these increasing temperatures. So the loss of alpine biodiversity in South Australia, and a disruption and decline in the agricultural production, increased stress in rural communities in southwestern, southern, and mainland Eastern Australia, and for example, the corals, the bleaching of the corals, which is happening more and more, and definitely not something they've evolved to be able to withstand. So this requires a really dynamic approach about how to proactively, address that and to build climate resilience. And the key components of climate resilience include adaptation, mitigation, sustainability, inclusiveness, integration, and having place-based co-design solutions. So we know that climate change presents risks to nature, people, and infrastructure around the world. These risks will increase with every small increase in warming, and reducing them is made more complicated by other global trends such as overconsumption, population growth, rapid urbanization, land degradation, biodiversity loss, poverty, and inequity. In short, the world is facing a long list of complex and interacting challenges that need to be dealt with simultaneously, and that's where that multidisciplinary approach and multidimensional approach is really important here. Climate resilience goes beyond risk mitigation. It combines strategies that result in not only improvements to reduce emissions, but safeguarding people and ecosystems on land. And as a local government, you have that duty of care to support the people in your community. So why is training on climate risk important? Well, it's important and essential for local council in Australia to effectively navigate the complex and evolving challenges posed by climate change. It can help to protect communities, manage resources, ensure long-term sustainability and resilience, and support the continued service delivery, and importantly, take advantages of the opportunities as they arise. So when you're dealing with this wicked problem that is climate change, it's the grand architect that really sits behind everything and can affect, amplify everything, both the challenges but also opportunities. The key responsibilities in council: policy and regulation, planning, preparedness, funding and investment, environmental management, public awareness and engagement, international cooperation, monitoring, reporting, are all areas that can be impacted by climate risk. And that high vulnerability and exposure to climate risks, the training ensures council staff are equipped with the knowledge and skills to effectively anticipate, prepare for, and respond to risks. And it's important to understand and be able to develop effective climate risk strategies to approach the complexity of the impacts in a way that is more coordinated and strategic, and ensures that there's continued service delivery to support the community. So this enhances decision making and integration, and that's a really big part of this course, is how to embed it into your organization as business as usual. And we provide the tools, techniques, and resources to integrate climate risk into all aspects of decision making. And this importantly obviously helps build capability and enables you to be able to better meet the compliance and regulatory requirements posed as this advances, including financial disclosures, where there'll be a requirement for you to contribute to those, even though you might not have that mandatory requirement yourselves, others in the value chain will. And lastly, the long-term sustainability and resilience is really important. So it's not just that you are standing up and you're reacting to every disaster that comes and you're seeking funds towards that. The problem is, as they happen more and more, funding dries up, impacts worsen. How do you approach your service delivery and support the community in a way that ensures the sustainability and community resilience in between disasters? So that's that longer term resilience coming to play. So as part of the Queensland Climate Ready program and the Queensland Coastal Resilient Council's work, Griffith University was involved and helped them with. We took these learnings and developed the short course from this because it was really a strong a need that training was required. So it was identified that training was required, and we wanted to make sure that this information and proactive approaches could be able to be shared with as many councils as possible. And there's over 537 councils across Australia and numerous associations and alliances between them. So we wish to develop this course as our ambition to build capability on the climate risk management for local government, and obviously hoping to tailor this to other sectors and organisations to come. Our course is hybrid, so it's online, self-paced, with 3 workshops that you need to attend online. So it's a 10-week course designed to build local government capability to manage climate risk and to take advantage of the opportunities. There's 8 topics in this course that I'll take you through shortly, and we have a number of questions posed in an activity book to help you apply that to your local context to better embed that knowledge and learnings. And as I said, there's 3 workshops. 2 of these are compulsory online workshops as part of receiving accreditation. To date, the participants have attended from over 26 councils and 5 states across Australia, which is great because we only just started this course last year. This course is designed for the executive, senior leaders and managers of local councils and across all service areas. Climate risk will affect all service areas and services provided to the community, both strategic and operational. And so anyone is essentially that's in a position where they are decision makers and they can influence their service delivery within their own team environment, within their department or broader organisation, highly recommend for them to do this course. This course offers the opportunity to be awarded with a digital badge to showcase their skills and be part of a community practice to get access to tailored support packages. So this badge here on the bottom right is the micro-credential that can sit alongside your email signatures. When people click on that, it pops up with what was required and what you are now proficient in that made this badge possible. So this overall, this short course requires 2 hours of commitment each week, and also the workshops, which are the compulsory workshops, are both 2 hours as well. But there are plenty of other resources and tools in there that if you wish to click on them and read all up about each resource that we provide, you can spend longer than two hours on this, obviously. I will go to the next page. So just briefly, within this course, we also provide contextual activities, quizzes, workshops, and networking opportunities. And there's always a chance to ask questions and be included in the course offerings. So this is the 8 modules. Each module has 2 learning outcomes and a little knowledge quiz at the end of this module. Each module, there'll be a knowledge check. So it's not necessarily compulsory, but it's a great way to check your knowledge as you go through. There are 2, and alongside the 2 compulsory workshops, there is also 2 compulsory quizzes that you'll need to pass. You can do those multiple times, however. So module 1, understanding climate change, its causes, impacts, policies, and interdisciplinary complexities for decision making. Module 2 is about understanding and distinguishing between the physical and transition climate-related risks and the roles of executive leadership and governance arrangements needed to support climate risk management. Module 3, you'll get a better understanding of the challenges and opportunities of climate change communication, both internal and external, and foster useful strategies to communicate and engage in climate risk management. Module 4, identifying strategies to secure executive support and how well-defined roles can help deliver effective climate risk governance and integration. Module 5, integrating climate risk into corporate risk management and into frameworks and processes to make it business as usual. Module 6 is about summarising the high-level climate risk assessment process, identifying physical and transition risks, and explain prioritisation processes. And so we'll get you to do an activity where you do that kind of based on your own council situation. Module 7, examine climate risk capability and capability gaps and opportunities to enhance climate risk management in your action planning. And Module 8, lastly, is to understand the importance of monitoring, evaluation, and ongoing management of climate risks and increasing requirements of climate financial risk disclosure. And how all of this monitoring, evaluation, reporting back, that feedback loop is really important to sustain and feed into that councillor and elected members' support and your director's support and taking them on the journey. This is just showcasing one of the modules, the look and feel. As you'll see, this is the very beginning of module 1. There's 2 learning outcomes for this, which you can see on the bottom right. And there's a scroll bar, which you tick off kind of on your way through, and each module has a glossary, so you'll be able to revert back to key terms. Module 4, basically in this one, we actually emphasize the importance of champions and committees and working groups to build that engagement and support within your organization and why that's important and how to go about progressing it and the importance of celebrating the small wins in the progress of becoming climate resilient. It's not all smooth sailing, that is for sure. We also incorporate case studies within our modules of a variety of different case studies from Australia and different councils, and lots of hyperlinks to external resources. Again, module 5 here is benefits and challenges of creating a new risk category for climate change in the risk register. So it's about embedding climate risk at the organisational level, not just doing a risk assessment, but making it as part of your business as usual within your team, your department, ideally all of council, and to factor this into key decision making, how it can be embedded into, say, risk management guidelines, your risk appetite, strategic priorities, plans, and so on. The course is designed by, we've embedded a number of videos from our own experts, those internal and external to Griffith, and you'll see here there's one from Brendan Mackey, who is the director of CAB, Sue Harris-Rimmer, who is very well known for her role in human rights and equity in climate risk management. One from Ian McKenzie, an example of climate risk impacting local councils, finances, insurance, litigation, things like that. And then we've got here Doreen Earhart, which is one of the facilitators for our workshop, and her video around how to develop storyline scenarios for high-level climate risk assessments. So we incorporate all of these into the course and aim to add to our current list with new case studies as they arise. We also provide resources and templates to help support the journey. So here we've developed on the bottom left, we've got about 7 pages of these. They're all hyperlinked, talking about the adaptation and mitigation, key legislative policy frameworks and plans and acts. And we've done that for federal level and per each state. So it's very, very comprehensive. And on the right, there is a resource map for key local government related resources for each state that we have developed. Here are the facilitators for the course. So we have 3 workshops, 2 compulsory. One is the introduction and then 2 compulsory. Tracy Stinson is the Director of Clean Policy and Impact Clean Energy Council, and then we've got Donovan Burton, Doreen Earhart. They both take turns depending on the cohort. They're both directors of their respective consultancies. Both have done a lot of engagement work and projects around climate risk with councils across Australia. And this is the activity book that I referred to, that we, as per within each module, we will ask you to reflect on a couple of what you've learned and how that might be applied to your local council. So the 2 compulsory workshops, 2 quizzes, and submission of this activity workbook is what's required to be awarded with a Griffith University Digital Badge Micro-credential. And this is the micro-credential again on the right, that showcases your skills and professional development and offers a credit pathway to Griffith University courses, the graduate cert in climate change adaptation. This is an example of past roles that have undertaken the course. The position levels and the roles you can see are really diverse, and this is what we want to see across councils because it's everybody's responsibility. And if it can be embedded and they have training and they know what they're doing within their own area, then not only are they more proactively planning, but ideally communicating across council. These are course contributors, so a wide range of people and climate experts contributed to development of this course, including external associates and contributors to the university. This is 4 key testimonials. There are so many testimonials. We've had some great feedback on this course. You can access these testimonials on site, I believe, in the flyer that was attached. And we also offer bespoke opportunities for councils. Sometimes it's easier for a council to put through a bulk of people at once into one of our cohorts, or we can spread it over a few cohorts. We've had that numerous times. Otherwise, we can come across with a particular arrangement with your own council, where we can link it in with your own corporate plans and provide in-person workshops and expert presentations. Obviously, that's a bespoke arrangements, but has great partner benefits there as well. Yeah, please email about us. Please reach out to us about that if you have any interest. And so our next cohort is starting on the 21st of July. At the moment, we have a 10% early bird discount, and there's a group discount of 20% also available. Our cohorts run 4 times a year, and as I said, bespoke opportunities are available. Thank you very much for listening. I will also put in some links on the right that might be valuable for you should you have any further questions. I'll add them in now. Thank you very much for your time today. We really value that, and we hope to see you in the future in one of our short courses. Thank you very much.